we are very excited for this moment because we always say, I mean, we really believe that we are like in a tipping point now with augmented reality. We estimate like 80% of smartphone owners have a device that is powerful enough to create very good experience. I mean, like merging this virtual asset with the physical world in a very seamless way. And also, I will say that, I mean, also the future, the near future, we expect to have finally some smart glasses that will be available to most of the people.
But now, like as Diego said a little bit earlier, not only the technology is progressing, that user experience is progressing, and we're getting to a point where people are familiar and comfortable with ideas in augmented reality. It's very exciting. Welcome to Chainlink Live. My name is Andy Boyan from Chainlink Labs. I'm talking to Diego de Tommaso from OVR. We're talking about augmented reality and Chainlink and blockchain and how all those things come together. Diego, it is great to have you here. Why don't you start and tell our audience what is OVR all about? What makes it really special?
Yeah, so thanks for having me here, first of all. So yeah, basically OVR is a platform to build AR and VR experiences that are geolocalized. So to say it with a mouthful, what we are building is the decentralized platform for what we call the spatial web. So the idea is to enrich physical locations with information, and the means that we use to enrich these places with information is augmented reality. So the way we did it, basically we tokenized the space because we needed a way to assign control to location. You know, just like in the web, you own a web domain and you decide what will be the content. In our case, we needed a system to assign control on locations. So we divided the world in hexagons of 300 square meters, and those are non-fungible tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. Once you own one of these, it's like owning a web domain. You will decide what will be the content on that location. So what we provide is both a visualization app for iOS and Android. As mentioned before, we are very focused on mobile first. So, I mean, things need to run on my mobile because all of us have a smartphone in our pockets, and none of us has smart glasses right now, not yet at least. So the second thing we provide is basically a builder, an SDK. Thanks to that, you can upload the contents in the locations where you want to upload it. And of course, then we also provide the hosting. So basically, the idea is that our vision is really to be on the top of the mind when anybody wants to create an AR experience. So they can build it all from scratch, building the app, I mean, creating the mechanics of interaction, or just, I mean, use our platform. So our long-term vision is really to be the go-to platform to create AR experiences.
I think I've got a question right away that I think will be really helpful for people. So Salt in your eye, fantastic username, hello. Is this like Pokemon Go? And I think one of the real clear distinctions that we can make is who decides what goes in the world on Pokemon Go versus who decides what goes in the world on OVR. Is that a good distinction to make?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, actually, we like to refer to ourselves like an horizontal platform. So with the OVR, you can build many use cases. One of these use cases is, of course, a Pokemon Go. And you can build it, or we can build it. Actually, since this question is very interesting because when you talk about AR, the first thing people recognize is actually remember about is Pokemon Go. So also in order to, I mean, start onboarding user and letting them try that kind of technology, what we did was starting with a Pokemon Go style game. So basically we distributed these treasures all around the world that actually are our tokens. And it was a huge success actually because people went to more than 250,000 locations to collect our tokens. And so regarding this, then I don't want to go too deep on that, but basically what we are building also is this treasure run as a service. We call it treasure run SaaS. So basically people will be able to create their own treasure runs. And they can do it both with tokens or maybe, you know, with points that will unlock some special, I don't know, purchasing opportunities or, I don't know, entry permits. I mean, you can gamify this concept in many, many ways. And this is very powerful and very intuitive for people because, of course, they are used to it. I mean, Pokemon Go was huge success and actually democratized or at least evangelized about AR, I mean, the whole world. So, yeah.
Well, it was really fun, and people had access to it because it was distributed geographically. And so you could go to a gym nearby. I still know where they are in my neighborhood. I haven't played in a long time, but that, helps it bring it up in people's minds. There's another augmented reality that I think people have been using for years up to this day that they don't think of as augmented reality, which is filters. Snapchat filters and Zoom filters, that's augmented reality, you guys. Like it's something that's really familiar to people. And OVR, it sounds like, is really just taking the lay of the land and that geographic map opportunity to give people the tools to build what they want. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the distinction with that, of course, is that we focused on this niche that actually we believe is not really a niche. I mean, it's what the market is going about, actually not only having a filter where you can put the filter wherever you want, but actually augmenting the physical place. I just give you an example, like for touristic use cases, for example. Let's imagine that you are at the Colosseum, and you have a virtual guide that guides you through, the history of the place. And maybe you can also have an AR reconstruction of the place where it was 1,000 years ago. So, it's really about enriching location and bringing this world of information. We produce and we have so much information, and it's very difficult to digest it. And so basically we believe that AR is the best means to actually convey this information to people. Because if you think about that, we are beings that are used to live in the 3D world, in the spatial world.
Yeah.
Lately, in the last 30 years probably, and we're even accelerating, we are keep staring at screens. First there was the desktop, then the laptop, then the mobile phone. And the evolution, we know where it's going. We're going to be on smart glasses, and then when Elon Musk will finish his project, probably we'll be on a Neuralink in our head and stuff like that. So, but the real point that I want to make is that, we live in the 3D world, in the physical 3D world. So, the most seamless way to convey information and to, enrich this world is through inside this 3D world. So that's why we are so excited about AR, because actually brings this potential. So it gives the opportunity to actually let us interact with information in a more natural way. In the way our brain is wired to do.
I think if anything, well, one of the many things that the past year and a half of lockdowns across the world has shown is people are still very dependent on getting out, being a part of the world. But we're also extremely dependent and invested in the value that digital technology brings, information through social media, through streaming like this. Let's blend those two together. That's what's so exciting to me about something like OVR is blending those things. I want to point out to our audience two things. One, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. The name OVR is like over, it's like virtual reality. The VR, it's like over virtual reality. I love all this. It's very thoughtful branding. It's fantastic. I'm geeking out about that. I'm using the app and checking out all the hexagons on there. You had a video to show some people. Can we try to play this video?
What if real and virtual could seamlessly merge in just a single tap? Dive into the sweet future with OVR, the decentralized augmented reality platform powered by Ethereum blockchain. How does it work? OVR is a digital layer covering the entire globe. The layer is composed of 1.6 trillion unique hexagons called OVRLands, each represented by a singular NFT. Start by owning one. That's where all the fun begins. Within the OVR ecosystem, you can easily earn by selling or renting OVRLands, staking OVR tokens, or building and publishing AR experiences. As an OVR landowner, you will also be able to contextualize custom experiences related to specific geographic locations. Everything is possible, from static 3D content to games, avatars, events, and any experience you dare to dream. All this in real time and from the smartphone in your pocket. The best part? OVR is unstoppable. Once implemented in the blockchain, no one will have the power to change the software rules, the OVRLand contents, or the crypto token economy. The control is yours. So give it a go. Let's make something extraordinary happen. Join OVR today.
Awesome. And there is a mobile app that's live. I downloaded it. I fired it up. I look around. I can see the hexagons around my house and everything. Let's talk for a second about this OVRLand Treasure Hunt. This is how you guys used Chainlink as well, Chainlink VRF. Why we're talking to you today is because we've combined forces in these ways to make OVRLand a really interesting thing. How did OVRLand help seed the token? How does that work as a platform? And then you are productizing, it sounds like, this treasure hunt capability, a SaaS treasure hunt situation. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, of course. So as mentioned before, I mean, it's about the path of last resistance. So I mean, when we talk about augmented reality, I mean, sometimes it's kind of difficult to explain what are the use cases, or let people imagine what you can do with that. So we thought that, I mean, the best way to actually engage people and start letting them get familiar and use this technology was doing that with something that already resonate with them. So for that, I mean, we started actually at the beginning as an experiment with this treasure hunt thing. So with having people going around and chasing for these treasures. Mm-hmm. And actually, I mean, we was also quite surprised about how much people really like that. And so actually, we need to limit it in the last in the last month, because I mean, we had even too much people that was collecting our treasure. So since we see that this concept have a lot of potential, but not only actually as collecting token, but we think that it has a very high potential in terms of gamification. Mm-hmm. So think also about a brand that want to engage their user or bring users to some specific location. Or I mean, just giving them something special, something new to play with. I mean, having this very easily implemented, I mean, is a huge potential. I mean, it's a huge potential for brands. In fact, we have already a lot of projects, both in the crypto space that want to distribute their tokens with other model, but also, I mean, outside of the crypto space, like brands that want to just maybe they're not yet in NFTs, but they want their users I mean, their clients to collect like virtual goods or stuff like that. So that's why, I mean, we don't want people to think that OVR is just this, but I mean, since it's something that is working and people like, so we decided to put some effort to create even more potential of that. So, I mean, the collaboration with Chainlink for this is just the first use case. So we wanted to create even more hype around that. So what we did is basically creating a sort of lottery. So not only people will go around and chase these treasures, but every time they find a treasure in a specific land, that land will be like a ticket of the lottery. So, I mean, you will collect many treasures, so you will have many tickets. At the end, we will make a final extraction. And in order to iterate in this list and choose what is the winner, we needed a credibly neutral provider of randomness. Mm-hmm. And of course, we thought that Chainlink VRF was, I mean, the best way to do that. And so, and this is, and also really, we see this just the tip of an iceberg, because at the end of the day, this is just one of the smallest implementations that we can have with Chainlink. Because as I was mentioning, I mean, this vision of merging the physical and the virtual world. Actually, the virtual world needs to know about the physical world. So, I mean, having the opportunity, and since our project is blockchain-based, because we want it to be credibly neutral, we want that the people are able to actually really own the assets of this world. I mean, giving to this asset the potential to be aware of the physical world is something very special. And so, I mean, Chainlink is really, of course, I mean, this is your really value proposition, bringing the, mid-space world information inside the blockchain. So,
let me give the audience a use case here, because this is exciting to me. If I think about the value of augmented reality as a way to really increase engagement with a given audience or user base, right? I know that somebody going somewhere is a lot more valuable than them liking a tweet. Liking a tweet is great, but if they actually go somewhere to engage with my content, wow, that's a really valuable action that they're doing, and there's commitment to a brand and an opportunity. So that's why brands are going to be interested. Well, let's say you wanted to go somewhere, a conference or an art exhibit or whatever it is, and it's raining out. Well, what if the OVR, they knew it was raining. What if the hexes knew it was raining? Well, that's where Chainlink feeds come in. That's what I get excited about, is they can know the weather. And if somebody goes somewhere in a snowstorm, then that's even more valuable, right? You can add rewards to that. You can do all sorts of really interesting things to that. So I absolutely see the potential, right? That's how we start linking the real world and things that are actually happening, whether it's market movements or weather data or whatever it happens to be, to these digital experiences in general, beyond just DeFi protocols, which are fantastic, but also now to augmented reality.
Absolutely. Also, this is a good point, beyond DeFi protocols, because, I think, again, we are in the right moment because, all of this interaction with the blockchain is costly, is a kind of bulky, especially when, you are in a high gas fees season, not now, but it was just a few weeks ago. On Ethereum, no, you could not really do this kind of stuff. So now, L2s are just behind the door. It's kind of weeks, days, maybe. So, once we finally have also cheap transactions on Ethereum, being able to have all of these logics just sitting already inside the blockchain is a huge game changer. So, that's why I'm really excited about that. And that's why I'm really excited about starting with this and then expanding to all of that. So bringing the potential of the real world data inside, these metaverses. I think I'm not the only one metaverse, promoter that is thinking about that. I'm sure also other projects are thinking about that. But like the example you gave, whether, amount of people that is in a location, a result of an election, I don't know, market prices is another easy thing to think about, or maybe, I don't know, an artist winning or not winning a Grammy Awards, or I don't know,
good one.
Or not an election. There's so many things that you can imagine to embed in logics inside smart contracts with your technology. So
sports results, like in-match sports results, you can display augmented reality sports in your front yard, and all of a sudden, right, you could get updates, all sorts of amazing things you could do that tie in with things that are already happening now, like prediction markets and yield farming and all sorts of potential things, insurance, right? A crazy amount.
You can have, assets that react to this, physical world, and react inside a blockchain. So, you can also safely connect value to these things happening. So that is the really exciting thing at the end of the day. So, yeah, super cool, super excited about that.
So you're talking about the treasure hunt, and you were a little bit surprised at how engaging it was. It doesn't surprise me. I remember, and this is still a popular app. It is, what's the treasure hunt app? I'm blanking on it now. Oh, geocaching, where people hide little treasures around the world and then mark them in the app, and people can go find clues and go and find them. It reminds me of geocaching. Now it's a digital version of geocaching, which the opportunities kind of are immense there.
Absolutely. I just give you a little spoiler. We are actually talking with some artists, actually. They want to do this kind of logic for their art. So they're going to spread their works of art around the world in locations that make sense. So, maybe, I know, some protest thing, or maybe just some work of art that has some significance in a specific place. And so people that will go around and chase for first person, the first that will chase enough of this work of art will receive one of their NFTs that is not for sale. The only way to get it is actually to participate to this art treasure hunt. So, this is just to give you an example. That's really it's about the imagination space. you can build really anything on that.
Yeah, I like how you said multiverses. I think a lot of the narrative in digital land is about the multiverse, and no, it's okay to have multiverses, right? There's a lot of different opportunities there. It's okay to have a lot of blockchains. There's different use cases and there's different things there. So that was pretty cool. Hey, I want to highlight a user question because I think it is distinguishes your project. OVRLand Lord asks, are you working on developing AR glasses? And from what I heard you say is you're focusing on mobile. Can you talk a little bit about why that is for now?
Yeah, if I get the question correctly, is asking if we are building the hardware actually, or is it if you're building the integration?
It sounds like if you're building the hardware.
Yeah, okay, so the hardware for sure not. So of course we are just, we are on the software layer. So this is not our focus. But what I can say is that, as I mentioned, I mean, our first focus is mobile, because right now this is the right mean to actually use AR. I mean, everybody's one is in his pocket. It's very powerful, and I mean, you can have the experience right away. Of course, as soon as an affordable and widespread devices on the market, we will rush to be as fast as we can. I mean, also on smart glasses. I mean, already now we have implemented some proof of concept, for example, on Magic Leap, and they work amazing. The only point is that we want adoption, so that that hardware is still not, I mean, widespread enough. So yes, I mean, smart glasses is the future. We believe that it will be the future. So as soon as probably Apple will come out with that, I mean, we will be there.
So does this tie in a little bit to a comparison between AR and OVR versus virtual reality, VR? Like, there's a really big hardware difference and computational power difference there. Can you talk a little bit about that difference?
Absolutely. So, I mean, the word AR and VR, I mean, the big distinction, of course, is that, I mean, maybe not all of you are familiar with the AR and VR world. So VR is like occlusive world. So you are totally inside a purely virtual world. And so usually the best way to experience is that, of course, with the Googles, of course, you can also see it on a screen, but it's not the same thing. While with AR, the idea is that basically you blend what is your physical reality, where actually you live, your space, where you stay, with VR assets. So, for example, you can have an avatar or a virtual shop assistant in your room, contextualizing that location. So that is the real big difference between the two. So what we believe, of course, probably somebody can say that we are biased on that, but you know, there's also many market researches that says this, is that, of course, I mean, VR will progress, there's no doubt of that, but the potential in AR is much more greater. And I mean, the reason why is very simple, because we are physical beings and we live in the space. So we will never probably, maybe some dystopian future, but we'll never pass all of our day with Googles in our face. We will always live in the space, in the physical space. So, I mean, the way to go, at least in our vision, is AR, because, I mean, we are physical beings. Then, of course, I mean, there are things in VR that you cannot do in AR. I mean, like a certain kind of games, we all do better in VR. So there are niche things where VR is better, but I mean, the majority of the use cases in the market we think will be in AR. And so, by the way, just by the way, I mean, we also have VR experiences. Like, for example, we have some art galleries where artists expose NFTs that basically are VR, because I mean, actually, you move inside like if you are in AR. So, I mean, all your body movements are traced. But basically, you are in a box. You know, it's like entering inside an AR asset. So, yeah.
Cool. I couldn't agree more in terms of the potential for AR. So everybody knows, I am just a fan from way before this conversation. I've been interested for years in augmented reality. I think, this is totally my personal, but I think that people are more acclimated to AR than they realize. And things like on a vehicle dashboard, like on your windshield, there's starting to be information that comes up there, or even in your side mirrors, like they have little bits of information. That's AR. Even headphones, if you walk around with earbuds in and you're playing a soundtrack to match your environment, that could be AR, right? I think people don't think about it in those terms, but the environment is changing and it's very personalized, and it's a different sort of reality that people are doing. So I think about it as filters on the world, and there's a lot of levels to that, whether it's a fully immersive, game that ends up on your, neighborhood or whatever it happens to be. We have another really great question about hardware, very specific from 2Future here. So, will there be minimum hardware requirements, and will you take advantage of LiDAR technologies on iPhones? I don't know what the LiDAR is, so if you're familiar with that, please.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, basically, so we try to support as much devices as we can. So like, for example, talking about iOS, because with Android it's difficult to answer to this question, so since there is so much variability. But just to give you an idea, we support from iPhone 6S onwards. So, I mean, 6S is since, more than 5 years ago. So, the hardware requirements are not so high. Actually, the better the hardware you have, the better the experience you will have. So we calibrate the experience depending on the capacity of your phone. And also, we use features. We try to use all the features that the phone has. Another example, again, with the phone, with the iOS. So if you have an iPhone X onwards, so with the depth camera, when we create your avatar, because I didn't told you this already, but you can be in these virtual worlds, in these AR worlds with your avatar, and other people can see you. So basically what we do, we take a picture of your face and we create a 3D mesh of it. So we recreate your face with AI, with just a picture. And if you have an iPhone X with the depth camera, we also animate your face live. So the other people in other side of the world will see actually your expressions. So of course, if you have this kind of hardware, you will be able to stream it. If you don't, you still have the avatar and you still can speak with others. So, we try to be modular on that. And of course, LiDAR, we are not utilizing it yet because it's still a small niche of devices that have it. But as soon as more devices will adopt it, of course, we will use it. And actually, for locating the asset in space with iPhones that have the LiDAR, it's already used because it's already by default used by the software of the phone that actually localize the assets. I hope I answered to this question. I'm not so technical, but I hope I answer enough.
No, fantastic. We're kind of running up on time, so I want to make sure, because I am very curious about this as well. Thank you for the question, Future. Excellent question. But I want to make sure I hear about what's on the roadmap, like what's coming up in the next month, 2 months, 6 months for OVR.
Well, it's a kind of long list, but I will try to focus on the most
highlights. Give me highlights.
So first of all, our main focus right now is to build high quality experiences on our platform, because of course we have a platform, and if there are cool experiences, people will want to use it, otherwise not. So two things we are doing on that direction. First, we are coming out with a new version of the builder. Now we have a beta version that is easy to use but not so powerful. We are coming out with a version that will be for power users. So they will, people that will be able to code with Unity will have a special plugin where we will have a lot of power to create very, very engaging experiences. Second, also always in this direction, we are coming out with a grants program. So each month we will have a competition for the best AR experience that will be remunerated in OVR tokens. And so also with this, we would like to start engaging a community that we didn't engage yet. So the creators community. We came out with our builder just 3 weeks ago, and we have already people building amazing things. Again, we were surprised on what people could do. We never even thought that this could be done with our builder. So we want to go even farther on that. So specifically go there and target those. Another thing that we are going to add is basically an NFT marketplace. So right now, basically, you can create your own experiences, but you cannot sell it. So what we're going to do, we're going to allow to create NFTs out of assets that actually creator built and sell to other people within the platform. So this is another thing. So I would say 3 things that goes in direction of helping creators.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Are you going to be doing any hackathons or participating in hackathons to encourage that?
Yeah, actually, not in the next 2 months, but when the new builder will be out there. Of course, we're going to build some hackathons because we want to really attract all the creators on that. So yeah, absolutely.
Great, good. So developers take note, and users take note. I'm not a developer, but I will love to use this stuff. So somebody builds a great app on using the SDK and using the builder. Are you guys going to put that on your Twitter channels? Like, let people know when we can test that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we are gonna push all the content, all the best content for the creators. I mean, it's in our first interest. So yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so everybody, all the information to follow OVR is down in the description. Find their website, find their Twitter, and join their communities to get updates. Diego said they have a vibrant community in Telegram, so that's kind of the spot. They have a Discord as well, but that's the secret, you guys, to get involved. Join communities, follow projects, respond, ask great questions, and do me a favor, do the same for the Chainlink communities. Join Telegram, join the Discord for developers or non-developers to follow what's going on. That's how cool projects like these kind of come to light. You find out about hackathons and other amazing things like that. Diego, thank you so much for being here. This has been a lot of fun. I'm now an OVR fan as well as an augmented reality fan. I really appreciate you being here, man.
Thanks to you for the great opportunity. It was super fun to talk with you. And
I want to do it again. Let's do it again because I want to like keep up with you in this project. And like I said, I'm gonna use the app and we'll see what happens as well. So to the community, people who are watching, here's what I want. I want to try something new for this time. I want to see your book recommendations on Twitter for augmented reality. So I know of a couple of the sci-fi books that are like augmented reality featured that are really good, but I want to hear from you guys as well. I'll put out a tweet. Follow me. I'm at Andy Boyan, all one word, and I'll tag Over the Reality as well for your Twitter. And let's do this. I'll do this right after the stream. I want to see your book recommendations. We'll see what we got because I got some as well. Does that sound good, community? I see your chats. Yeah, we got a few here already. You're very welcome for the stream, Salt. Oh, you're welcome, Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Hey, I appreciate everybody being here today on Chainlink Live. Subscribe to this channel because we do these just about every day. We've got another one tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's a project called Equilibrium, DeFi project. So come back, hang out with me, ask your questions, and I appreciate everybody being here. We'll see you guys next time on Chainlink Live.